Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. And today we'll be discussing the NCERT exemplar questions for the chapter Microbes in Human Welfare. Okay, so some of the questions we have discussed in the previous session, and today we'll be discussing the rest of the questions. This is the disclaimer. What are the objectives of today's session? So today we will understand the basic concepts related to the chapter Microbes in Human Welfare by working through the NCERT exemplar questions. Okay, so these questions have been divided into various categories. So we have multiple choice question, very short answer type question, short answer type question, and long answer type question. So let's begin with the multiple choice questions. The first question is, the free living fungus Trichoderma can be used for, okay, you have to choose the correct options from the below. Okay, so options are option number B, killing insects, option number B, biological control of plant diseases, option number C, controlling butterfly caterpillars, and option number D is producing antibiotics. What is the correct answer? So let's have a look at the answer. See, option number B is the correct answer, biological control of plant diseases. Okay, let's have a look at the explanation. So Trichoderma, this is a fungus. This is a beneficial fungus that naturally lives in the soil. Okay, this fungus attacks and stops harmful fungi that can make plants sick. Okay, so this basically, it prevents the harmful organisms which can infect the plant. Okay, now, because of this special ability, farmers and gardeners use trichoderma to protect their plants from diseases which can be caused by the fungal pathogens. Okay, why other options are incorrect? Let's have a look at that also. So, killing insects, this was one of the options. So, trichoderma help plants resist diseases but doesn't kill insects directly. Okay, so they are just helping the plants defend themselves against diseases which are caused by the fungi, but they are not directly killing the insects. Okay, one of the options was controlling butterfly caterpillars. So trichoderma doesn't control butterfly caterpillars. This section is specific to plant pathogens, not insect pest. Okay, then another option was producing antibiotics. So trichoderma may produce some antimicrobial substances, but it's not primarily used for antibiotic production. Next question, what would happen if oxygen availability to activated sludge flocks is reduced? If you choose the correct answer from below. Okay, so options are option number A, it will slow down the rate of degradation of organic matter. Option number B, the center of flocks will become anoxic, which would cause death of the bacteria and eventually breakage of the flock. Option number C, flocks would increase in size as anaerobic bacteria would grow around flocks. Then option number D, protozoa would grow in large numbers. So what will be the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number B is the correct answer here. The center of the flocks will become anoxic, which would cause death of bacteria and eventually breakage of the flocks. Okay, so let's have a look at the explanation. See, aerobic bacteria within the flock require oxygen to degrade the organic matter. Okay. Now, if oxygen availability is reduced, the center of the flock become anoxic, means it lacks oxygen. Okay. Now, in the anoxic core, bacteria die due to lack of oxygen, which can eventually cause the flock to break apart. Now, when the bacteria in the center can't survive, the whole structure weakens and falls apart. Clear? Let's have a look at the other options, why they are incorrect. So, first one, slowing organic matter degradation happens because the bacteria die and the flocks break apart, not just because of reduced oxygen alone. Second, while anaerobic bacteria might grow in areas without oxygen, this doesn't mean the flocks get bigger. Okay, flock size is more about how bacteria stick together, not just which type is present. Third is protozoa. The protozoa growth isn't directly linked to oxygen reduction. Their population depends on the availability of bacteria to feed on, not just the oxygen level. So that's why these options are incorrect. Next one, mycorrhiza does not help the host plant in. So what are the options? Option B, enhancing its phosphorus uptake capacity. Option B, increasing its tolerance to drought. Option number C, enhancing its resistance to root pathogens. And option number D, increasing the resistance to insects. So what will be the correct answer here? Let's have a look at the answer. Option number D is the correct answer, increasing its resistance to insects. Let's have a look at the explanation. See, mycorrhiza, this forms a symbiotic association. Okay. So myco means fungus, rhiza means root. So fungus forms a symbiotic association with the roots of the plant. Okay. A fungus, name genus, name glomus. This is the mycorrhizal fungus. Okay. So this fungus glomus forms symbiotic association with the roots of many plants. Now, the fungal symbiont in these association help plant in the following events. First of all, it helps absorb phosphorus from the soil and passes this phosphorus through the plant, enhancing its phosphorus uptake capacity. Okay, so the plant is not able to directly absorb the phosphorus which is available in the soil. So this fungus helps to solubilize the phosphorus. It converts phosphorus into a form which can be absorbed by the plants. Next one. Another key benefit is that mycorrhiza gives the plant resistance to root-borne pathogens. Okay. Next, mycorrhiza also help plant tolerate tough conditions. Okay, abiotic conditions like high salt level in the soil or drought. Okay. Now, it does not help in increasing plant resistance to the insects. Next question, which one of the following is not a nitrogen fixing organism? Okay, options are Anabaena, Nostoc, Azotobacter and Pseudomonas. What is the correct answer? Okay, so answer is option number D, Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas, this is a denitrifying bacteria, which means it converts ammonia and nitrates into free nitrogen. Okay, that's why it is called denitrifying bacteria. Now, these denitrifying bacteria are responsible for liberating free nitrogen into the environment. Clear? Anabaena, Nostoc, and Azotobacter, all of these are considered nitrogen fixing bacteria. Clear? Now, they can convert atmospheric nitrogen into usable forms for the plant. Next question, big holes in Swiss cheese are made by. The options are a machine. Option number B, a bacterium that produces methane gas. Option number C, a bacterium producing a large amount of carbon dioxide. Option number D, a fungus that releases a lot of gases during its metabolic activities. What is the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number C is the correct answer here. A bacterium producing a large amount of carbon dioxide. Now, the characteristic hole in Swiss cheese, these are caused by a bacterium called Propionibacterium shermani. So, this bacteria produces carbon dioxide due to the process of fermentation. Okay, so carbon dioxide produced basically as a byproduct during the fermentation process. Okay, so this carbon dioxide create holes in this Swiss cheese. These gas bubbles, they become trapped within the cheese, creating the distinctive holes. Here in this image, you can see the holes which have been created in Swiss cheese. Next question, the residue left after methane production from cattle dung is. Okay, so options are option number A, burned, option number C, buried in landfills, option number C is used as manure, option number D, used in civil construction. What is the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number C, used as a manure, is the correct answer. Now, methane can be extracted from cattle dung through a process called anaerobic digestion. Clear? So, methane is a major component of biogas. Clear? So, this methane is produced with the help of methanogens, which are anaerobic bacteria. When these anaerobic bacteria feed on the organic matter, they produce methane, which is a major component of biogas. Now, the material that remains after this process still continues, okay, still contains abundant nutrients. Okay, so even though microbes have done their job of producing methane, they don't remove all the valuable substances from the dung, means it is still nutrient rich. Okay, finally, the leftover material can be used as a fertilizer to enrich soil and help plants grow better. Next question, methanogens do not produce. So, methanogens are anaerobic bacteria. So, options are oxygen, methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide. What is the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number A, oxygen is the correct answer. Now, methanogens, they are anaerobic bacteria, means they can survive without oxygen. These bacteria produce methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide as part of their metabolism. Now, they do not produce oxygen. So that's why oxygen is the correct answer here. So, oxygen is basically harmful to them. So, they completely avoid oxygen. Next question, activated sludge should have the ability to settle quickly so that it can. So let's have a look at the option. Option number is B, rapidly pumped back from sedimentation tank to aeration tank. Option number B, absorb pathogenic bacteria present in wastewater while sinking to the bottom of the settling tank. Option number C, be discarded and anaerobically digested. Option number C, absorb colloidal organic matter. What is the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number A is the correct answer here. We rapidly pumped back from sedimentation tank to aeration tank. So let's have a look at the explanation. See, in secondary treatment, the wastewater with reduced BOD is passed into the settling tank. Okay, this is where the cleaning process continues after the primary treatment. Now, this step allows the bacterial flocks to settle down, forming a sediment called activated sludge. Now, a small portion of the activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank to serve as the inoculum. Clear? So that to start this process all over again. Here you can see in this image, image is showing you secondary wastewater treatment process. So effluent from the primary treatment, this is passed on to the or pumped into the aeration tank. In aeration tank, you can see air is added and it is continuously agitated also so as to promote the growth of the bacteria. Clear? Okay. And then you get the activated sludge, and a small portion of this activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank, and this serves as an inoculum. Moving on to the next question, you have to match the following columns. So you have to choose the correct options. In the column 1, okay, you have been given ladybird, mycorrhiza, biological control, and biogas. You have to match these terms with the terms given in column 2, which is methanobacterium, trichoderma, aphids, and glomus. What is the correct answer? Let's have a look at the answer. See, option number A is the correct answer here. Okay, let's have a look at the explanation. See, ladybird is a very familiar beetle with red and black markings. and it's used to get rid of aphids. Okay, so ladybird is like a natural pest controller. It's controlling the population of aphids and mosquitoes. So A should be 3. Then fungi, they form symbiotic association with the roots of higher plant. These fungi are known as mycorrhiza. Example is Glomus genus. Okay, clear? Next one, biological control being developed for use in treatment of plant diseases is the fungus trichoderma. So trichoderma is used as a biological control agent. Okay, it is used for the prevention of certain plant diseases which are caused by the fungus. Clear? So that's why C should be 2. Then last one, biogas we know is a renewable fuel made by bacteria like methanobacterium through anaerobic digestion of the organic matter. Major component of biogas is methane. So that's why D should be 1. Methanobacterium is a methanogen. It can produce methane by anaerobic digestion of the organic matter. Okay, let's discuss very short answer type questions. So question is, what is the source organism of EcoR1, which is then restriction endonuclease? So these restriction endonuclease are used to cut the DNA at specific sites. Let's have a look at the answer. Okay, so Escherichia coli, this is a bacteria. Okay, Escherichia coli strain RY13 is the source organism for EcoR1. So EcoR1 name is also derived from this bacterial strain. Next question, name any genetically modified crop. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. See, name of a genetically modified crop is BT cotton. So BT cotton has been modified to resist attack by the insect pest such as cotton bollworm. So in BT cotton, what has been done, BT gene from Bacillus thuringiensis has been introduced into the cotton. Okay, clear? Now when the insect feed on this BT cotton, then this toxin enters into insect's gut and it gets activated in insect's gut due to alkaline conditions there, and it create holes, it create pores in the insect gut, and the insect ultimately dies. Okay, so these BT cotton or BT plant, they are created by introducing a gene which is BT gene from Bacillus thuringiensis. This BT gene produces BT toxins which is lethal to the insects. Next question, why are blue-green algae not popular as biofertilizers? Okay, so let's have a look at the answer for this question. Okay, so biofertilizers, as we all know, they are the living organisms that enhance the soil quality, soil fertility. Okay, the blue-green algae, they add organic matter to the soil and they increase its fertility, but still it is not that much popular as a biofertilizer. Why? Okay, first reason is habitat specificity. So blue-green algae only thrive in certain environments which limits their usefulness. The blue-green algae prefer to live in waterlogged or aquatic environments like paddy fields. Okay, so this restrict their use as a biofertilizers because they grow in specific environment only. Now, many other crops don't require such consistently wet conditions for growth, limiting their applicability. Next one is algal blooms. So in polluted water bodies, blue-green algae can multiply very quickly, forming thick layers called as algal blooms. So these algal blooms, can increase the BOD of the water and thus affecting the aquatic life. So these blooms, they basically deplete the oxygen in the water and this harms the aquatic life. Okay, because this algae, they will die. So a lot of organic matter will be produced and a lot of oxygen will be used up by the microorganism to decompose this organic matter. Next one is toxicity. So some blue-green algae can produce harmful toxins as well. Certain species of blue-green algae release toxins into the water, okay, which can be harmful to animals, aquatic animals as well as humans also. So these toxins can cause health problems such as skin irritation, vomiting and diarrhea as well. So this makes the use of blue-green algae risky in some situations. Next question, which species of penicillium produces Roquefort cheese? Now let's have a look at the answer. Okay, so Roquefort cheese, you can see its characteristic features are it has a specific flavor, it is ripened. This specific flavor is because of the fungus Penicillium roqueforti. Okay, in this image you can see Roquefort cheese. You can see the fungus growing on this cheese, which is Penicillium. The next question is you have to name any two industrially important enzymes. Okay, so what will be the answer for this question? Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. See, two industrially important enzymes are, first one is lipases. So lipases are used in detergent formulations. They help remove oily stains from laundry, making our clothes clean. Okay. Next one is pectinases as well as proteases. So they are used as the clarifying agent in making commercial fruits and vegetable juices. These enzymes help remove cloudiness, making the juice clear and visually appealing. Yeah, so these are the enzymes. Okay, industrially important enzymes. Next one, you have to name an immune suppressive agent. Okay, so immunosuppressive agent basically suppress the immune system. Okay, so what will be the answer for this question? Is cyclosporin A. This is produced by the fungus Trichoderma polysporum. This is used as an immunosuppressive agent. Clear? So this is a quite straightforward question. So these immunosuppressive agents, they are used in the case of organ transplant as well to suppress the immune system. Now you have to give an example of rod-shaped virus. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. See, tobacco mosaic virus, this is the rod-shaped virus, and it is a plant virus and it consists of RNA as the genetic material. This is the first plant virus to be discovered. Okay, next question. Next are the short answer type question. So, question is, what role do enzymes play in detergents that we use for washing clothes? Are these enzymes produced from some unique microorganisms? So, what will be the answer for this question? Okay, so enzyme like lipases are used in detergent formulation. Okay, now you can see these enzymes cause breakdown of the oils. Okay, which helps remove oil and grease stains from the clothes. Clear? So they help in removing oily and greasy stains from the clothes in the laundry. So these enzymes, they are obtained from specific microorganisms such as Candida lipolytica and Geotrichum candidum. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. What is the chemical nature of biogas? And you have to name an organism which is involved in biogas production. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. See, you can see biogas is mainly made up of methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and a small amount of hydrogen sulfide as well. Now, methane is the most important component of the biogas, so it is flammable and provides most of the energy when biogas is burned. Okay, so you can see the presence of these gases, mixture of these gases, explain why biogas is such an efficient biofuel. So, biogas can be used for cooking, it can be used for lighting, it can be used for electricity generation as well. Now, methanobacteria, which are a type of methanogen, play a key role in this process. So, these bacteria break down organic matter in the absence of oxygen and release methane as a byproduct, making them essential for biogas production. Okay, let's move on to the next question. How do microbes reduce the environmental degradation caused by the chemicals? So these chemicals, they are non-biodegradable. They accumulate in the environment. Okay, they damage our environment. Ultimately, they enter into our food chain as well. Let's have a look at the answer. Okay, so microorganisms, they reduce environmental degradation because caused by chemicals through bioremediation. So what is bioremediation? It is basically using living organisms to clean up the environment, to clean up the pollution, thus making the environment safer. Okay, so microbes, they naturally break down toxic chemicals using their metabolic processes. Okay, these microorganisms, they secrete certain enzymes. So with the help of these enzymes, they can break down you can see these chemicals, these toxic chemicals. They can also break down the organic matter as well. Okay, so it is like microbes, they are eating these pollutants and turning them into something less harmful. So these microorganisms, they convert complex pollutant into simpler, harmless compounds. Now, some common examples include the breakdown of oil spills, pesticides, and industrial waste as well. For instance, after an oil spill in the ocean, certain bacteria can help clean up by feeding on the oil. Okay, so it is important to note that this process is both eco-friendly and cost-effective as well. So using microbes is a natural way to clean up the environment, and it often costs less than other methods. So it is cost-effective also. Let's talk about next question. So what is a broad spectrum antibiotic? You have to name one such antibiotic. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. So what is broad spectrum antibiotic? Okay, so antibiotic, the term means against life, but in context of the disease causing organism. So the antibiotic that is effective against a wide range of bacteria, including both gram positive and gram negative bacteria, this is known as broad spectrum antibiotic. Okay, so these antibiotics, they work on both of these kind of bacteria. So this makes them broad spectrum antibiotic. Okay, examples are tetracycline and chloroamphenicol. Next question: what are viruses parasiting bacteria called? And you have to draw a well-labeled diagram of the same. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. Now the word phage means to eat. Okay, so bacteriophage, these are the viruses which can infect bacteria. So viruses that parasitize bacteria, they are called bacteriophages. Here bacterio refers to bacteria and phage means to eat. Yes, so together we can call it as bacteria eater. Okay, now these viruses don't literally eat bacteria. Instead, they use the bacteria as a place to reproduce. So virus, they require a host to reproduce, to replicate, to produce more of its own kind. Because virus, this is living only when it enters into the host, and it uses host machinery to create its own types. Okay. Now, these bacteriophages infect the bacteria and then they replicate inside them. Yeah, so they used bacterial machinery to replicate. Clear? Next question, which bacterium has been used as a clot buster? What is its mode of action? So let's have a look at the answer. Okay, so let's have a look at the answer. Now, bacterium Streptococcus that produce streptokinase is used as a clot buster. Clear? Now, this enzyme has a fibrinolytic action, meaning it breaks down fibrin, which is the main protein that forms the mesh of the blood clot. So, this enzyme has a fibrinolytic action that breaks down the clots formed in the blood vessels of patients who have undergone myocardial infarction. Okay, these basically enzymes dissolve the clots which are blocking these blood vessels. Okay, by breaking down these clots, streptokinase help prevent further heart attacks that would happen if the blood vessel stay clogged. So you can see these microbial products, they are very useful for humans as well. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at the next question. You have to describe the main ideas behind the biological control of pests and diseases. Okay, this is a long answer type question. So let's have a look at the answer. See, biological control of pests and diseases means using living organisms to manage population of harmful organisms like insects, weeds, and pathogens. Now, this approach relies on natural interaction within an ecosystem. Yeah, so instead of disrupting the environment with chemicals which are toxic, which are non-biodegradable, we are working with nature's own checks and balances. The first one is predators. So predators are organisms that hunt and they feed on the pest, helping to naturally reduce their number. Okay, so we are not using chemicals here. We are using the living organisms instead of these chemicals to control the population of the pest. Now, biological control can be achieved by introducing or by encouraging organisms that naturally prey on the pest species. Here, for example, if you have a garden infested with aphids, bringing in ladybird can help control the aphid population. So, ladybird is a predator for aphids. Okay. Now, common example, as we have discussed, is using ladybirds to control aphid population. Or you can also introduce specific fish species that feed on the mosquito larva. This is another example. So these examples show how we can use natural predators to solve pest problems without harming the environment. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, moving on to the further explanation. So, second one is parasites. So, parasite, they play a crucial role in naturally reducing pest populations. You can think of them as nature's own pest managers. So, parasites are organisms that can help control pests by laying eggs or developing inside them. Okay. So, as a parasite grows, it uses the pest as the food source. It obtains nutrients from these pests, which eventually leads to the death of the pest. Now, a great example of this is parasitic wasps. These wasps specifically target caterpillars, laying their eggs inside them. As the wasp larvae develop, they consume the caterpillar from the inside, effectively controlling the pest population without harming other beneficial insects. You see here, other beneficial insects are also not harmed. So ecosystem stability is also maintained, and we are not using chemicals also, which degrade the environment. Okay, next one are pathogens. Okay, let's talk about pathogens, which are another important group in biological control. So pathogens are microorganisms. They can cause diseases in the pest, helping to keep their numbers in check. Okay, so pathogens, they include bacteria, fungi, and viruses that can infect and they can kill the pest insects. Now, a common example is the use of baculoviruses. So these viruses are very specific. They only infect certain harmful insects and do not affect humans or animals or plants. Okay, so it's like having a targeted solution that only attacks the problem pest. So they are not affecting the other organisms. So these other organisms, they might be beneficial. Okay, clear? So we are targeting a particular pest here. Clear? Now let's move on. Next question. Okay, so question is, what would happen if a large volume of untreated sewage is discharged into river? And the second part is, in which way anaerobic sludge digestion is important in sewage treatment. So let's have a look at the answer. Okay. Now, first part, if a large volume of untreated sewage is discharged into river, following things can happen. Okay, first, water contamination. This is a major issue. So this is the immediate effect when sewage enters into the river. Clear? Now, when the river water gets polluted with organic matter, nutrient like nitrogen and phosphorus, and disease causing microorganism, they can increase. Okay, clear? So the water becomes contaminated with organic matter, means the BOD can also increase, and this can affect the aquatic life because a lot of oxygen will be used for the decomposition of the organic matter. Now nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, they can also increase, and harmful pathogens which can cause diseases, they can also increase. So this can lead to eutrophication also. Okay, this is next problem. Okay, what is eutrophication? When the water becomes overly rich in nutrients. So high level of nutrients, especially nitrogen and phosphorus, okay, this causes algal blooms. Algal bloom means there is rapid multiplication of algae. Okay, means organic matter is accumulating in the water. So these algae, they are multiplying and then they will die. Okay, they will form the organic matter. Now, a lot of oxygen will be required to decompose this organic matter. BOD will increase. Okay, and this will deplete the dissolve oxygen in the water, and this can harm the aquatic life. Next one is hypoxia and anoxia, which means low or no oxygen in the water. So without enough oxygen, aquatic animals can't survive. Okay, so due to eutrophication also, there is a lack of oxygen. So dead zones are created where organic life cannot survive. Clear? Now, obviously, the aquatic life will be harmed. So this is a major consequence of untreated sewage entering rivers. Ultimately, aquatic life will be harmed. Okay, so fish and other aquatic animals are killed or they are forced to leave due to the lack of oxygen and presence of the pollutants. Now there is risk to human health as well because the water is contaminated and there are a lot of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Now when people they drink this polluted water or they use the polluted water for drinking or for recreation, they are exposed to waterborne diseases. Clear? So human health is also at risk. Another important effect is the increase in the biological oxygen demand. So increase in BOD means the water is polluted. So it is a key indicator of water pollution. So microorganism in river use of large amount of oxygen to break down the organic matter in the sewage, and this process leave less oxygen available for fish and other aquatic life. Okay, so BOD will increase if the organic matter is more, means if the water is polluted, BOD will be more. Next part is B part. Anaerobic sludge digestion is important in sewage treatment because first is waste reduction. So anaerobic digestion helps to minimize the amount of solid waste that needs to be disposed of after the sewage treatment. Okay, now the process breaks down organic matter into the sludge. Clear? So the process breaks down organic matter, significantly reducing the volume of sludge that needs to be managed and disposed of. Clear? So basically you are cleaning the water by breaking down the organic matter. Okay, so before disposing of into rivers and oceans, you have to carry out this process also, anaerobic sludge digestion. Next is biogas production. So when this organic matter is broken down by anaerobic bacteria, biogas is produced. Okay, so this anaerobic digestion produces a mixture of gases such as methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and hydrogen sulfide, which is biogas. Biogas can be used as a fuel. It can be used for cooking, for lighting, okay, as well as for electricity production as well. Okay. Now the main gases which are produced are methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide. Methane in particular is quite valuable because it can be used as a fuel. It is flammable. Mixture of gases is known as biogas. Okay, this methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, as well as hydrogen, all of this mixture of gases is known as biogas. So, but this biogas can be collected and can be used as a renewable energy source. Okay, now you can see you have turned waste into a renewable energy source. Okay, this can be used for generating electricity or heat as well. So biogas is a renewable energy source which has been produced from waste. Next is odor control. Okay, this is the third benefit here. So this is especially important because untreated sewage can produce very strong and unpleasant smell. Okay, now the digestion process stabilizes the sludge and reduces the unpleasant odor that are usually associated with the sewage waste. Okay, next one is sludge stabilization. This is the fourth benefit. This is a key step in making the waste safer and easier to manage. Now, during anaerobic digestion, complex organic compound in the sludge are converted into simpler, more stable forms. Clear? Now, because the sludge is now stabilized, it's much safer to handle and to dispose of, or it can be even used as a fertilizer as well. So this reduces health risks for the worker also as well as to the environment as well. Okay, now let's talk about fifth benefit, which is nutrient recovery. So this is where the process turns waste into something valuable for the agriculture. Now the digestive sludge is nutrient rich and can be used as agriculture, can be used in agriculture as organic fertilizers or as soil conditioner as well. So you can see this is a great example of recycling waste to support plant growth and improve soil health. Clear? So you can use this digestive sludge as fertilizer. Moving on to the next question, which type of food would have lactic acid bacteria? Okay, you have to discuss their application. Okay, so lactic acid bacteria are commonly found in following fermented dairy products. The first is yogurt. Okay, So when milk is fermented by lactic acid bacteria, it thickens and develops a tangy flavor. This is yogurt. Yogurt is a great source of probiotics. Okay, probiotics, basically these are good bacteria that keep your digestive system healthy. Next one is curd. This is mainly made in homes. Okay, so there's a difference between yogurt and curd. So yogurt contains a mixture of good bacteria. Curd usually contains lactic acid bacteria. Then you have buttermilk. This is another product rich in lactic acid bacteria. It is made by churning curd and it's often consumed to aid digestion. Okay, so you can see in this image, they are showing you yogurt, curd, and buttermilk, which are rich in lactic acid bacteria. Okay, now what are the useful application of lactic acid bacteria? So first of all, it enhances the nutritional value. Okay, so it increases the vitamin B12 content in the curd. So the curd becomes more healthier. So lactic acid bacteria can increase the nutritional value of food by enhancing the vitamin B12 content in the curd. So they are tiny nutrition boosters, you can say. The second important application is that lactic acid bacteria help maintain gut health. So our digestive system relies on a balance of good bacteria, and lactic acid bacteria are key players in this process. Okay, so they are beneficial for human gut health. They help with digestion, and they can even improve our overall well-being by supporting a healthy digestive system. Now, they help maintain a healthy balance of bacteria in the digestive system and can inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria. Now, you can think of lactic acid bacteria as friendly guardians that protect our gut from harmful invaders. Clear? So, this was the end of today's session. I hope this session was quite knowledgeable for you. We'll meet you in the next session. Thank you very much for listening.